With great power comes a brutal responsibility, men. My voice exists because I fought tooth and nail to be an absolute force, not some weak realist dodging hard truths. I speak uncomfortable facts not because I love them, but because they're real. I'm not here to drag the world down, I'm here to lift men up. I get thousands of emails weekly from guys I've saved men staring down the barrel of suicide, now standing tall because of me. That's my legacy, and I'm damn proud of it. I'm about protecting, providing, and living righteously. Misunderstood? Sure. But I don't want anyone feeling small because of my words. I want every man and woman to live true, honest, no lies, no betrayal. That's righteousness, and I live it every day. The system's broken, it can't save the poor, the weak, the lost. That's why you got to take the reins. The matrix can be cracked, you can stack millions, but it starts with owning your life. I refuse to believe anyone's doomed to misery. God didn't make a world where hard work and grit can't forge happiness. The universe rewards those who grind, who fight, who rise. That's the truth. I'm screaming at the young guys. If you don't get up, hustle, and make yourself matter, the world will spit you out. My message? Men are born with zero value. You've got to earn it. No pain, no struggle, no suffering. Then you're invisible. Walk into a room with nothing to show for your life, and nobody gives a damn. Every man knows this journey. The heartbreak, the days of being a nobody, the grind to earn respect. It's the masculine story we've all lived it. From the bottom to the top, whether you're a fighter, a comic, a mogul if you don't climb, you're stuck. At 44, emailing me, I'm depressed? Of course you are. You chose to stay small. Build yourself, or live a life that sucks. Your call. My core mission? Smash the slave mind. Question everything. Every belief you're fed has an agenda, dig into it. Why do you cling to ideas? Because the news told you? Pathetic. I argue with people, and they're ready to die for some point they've never even questioned. I saw it on television. Empty vessels, programmed like robots. Break free. Examine every thought, every rule, every truth you hold. Where'd it come from? Why is it there? Most people are puppets, dancing to someone else's tune. Not us. We think, we fight, we win. You want happiness? It's not handed out, it's earned. The universe is generous, but it demands you show up, grind, suffer, build, and you'll feel alive. The guys with trust funds, no battles, no purpose, they're the ones crying, lost in their mansions. You're built for the fight, for the climb. Don't run from struggle, embrace it. That's where greatness lives. Choose to be a nobody, and you'll fade into nothing. Choose to be important, to pay the price, to own your destiny, and you'll become untouchable. The world doesn't care about your excuses, it respects results. Get up, reject the programming, and forge a life that makes history. Move now, or stay a slave to the matrix forever. And I try and tell people, listen, just stop for a second and understand that the things they're telling you to believe are not necessarily for your benefit. The people who make the rules don't make the rules for the benefit of everybody. They make the rules for the benefit of the people who make the rules of the game. So telling people to resist a slave mind and just be critically critical thinkers, keep their brain open, pay attention to things, be perspicacious, that's the general theme. And it doesn't matter whether you're left, right, liberal, man, woman, etc. It's just think for yourself. That's the general message. I believe men and women are a beautiful union. I think we're slightly different, but when we work together, we're the most powerful force in the world. And I certainly believe that men and women, when they work together, is the most beautiful force on the planet. So of course I believe in men and women. Of course I believe in love. Of course I believe in marriage. Of course I believe in family. I believe in marriage in the traditional sense. I believe a man has a duty to stand up and be a real man. I believe that the problem with the world today that we are facing is that not enough men are sticking to the age-old ways of masculinity. I believe that me standing up and saying a man must protect a woman and provide for her, so he needs to make sure that she's safe, he needs a degree of authority. I believe women are sovereign individuals and they can make any choice they so desire. I think that it's important that we remember that a man has a duty. I think certainly in my relationship, have a financial responsibility to provide for my woman. My woman would never have to work unless she wanted to, because I'm the kind of person who works hard enough. And I'll make another point that needs to be said. The number of women who have stood up and stuck up for me is ignored. Thousands of women are making videos saying, I've met Andrew Tate, he's such a nice guy. I wish I had a man like Andrew Tate who felt responsible to protect and provide for me. You know what? I do belong to my husband, that's why I married him, and I love him. We ignore the thousands of women who stood up and stood by me and said everything I said is true. This is that there's a large contingent of men who still want to make money, go to the gym, be strong, drive a fast car, be traditionally masculine, and don't want to be shamed for that. I believe that feeling depressed is real. I don't believe depression as a clinical disease is real, no. I think PTSD is very real, unfortunately. I have some friends who suffer from that. I know that feeling depressed is real. I believe that the number one power you have against these things is trying to take control of your own mind and affecting your own life. I believe that it's not healthy to hand over all your power, and believe that depression is an outside disease that you can't affect. I know that when I've had difficult periods in my life, and also many of my friends, like I've said, suffered from PTSD and been through terrible things. I've lived a very difficult life. And I know people who have that. The things that made them feel better is when they woke up and said, you know what, I'm not gonna allow this to damage me anymore. I'm gonna take responsibility, I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna fight this as hard as I can. If someone comes to me and says, I'm clinically depressed, or I feel very, very sad, I would say, the first thing you need to do is stop accepting the identity of a clinically depressed person. Stop accepting you have no control over this. And what you need to do is stop identifying that way, and let's work together to try and fight against. A lot of people who are clinically depressed are suffering with something in their life, and if you fix the problem in their life, perhaps they won't feel depressed anymore. The thousands of people who have emailed me saying, my doctor told me I was clinically depressed, and it's a disease that I've got in my brain, and I can't be fixed. And I start listening to you, and I realize that that's not the case, and I can fix my own life, and you're the only person who has ever helped me. I believe feeling depressed is real. I do not believe it's a disease that you catch from the sky and you cannot affect. I believe that no matter what happens, I believe you have control of your own mind and you can fight against it. I believe if you change your circumstances in your life, you may feel different. I'll give you a quick example. I had a guy who emailed me saying he was clinically depressed and he was going to kill himself. I obviously am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor. I told him, because I replied to my emails, I said, have you been to a psychiatrist? He said, yes, I'm clinically depressed. I've been on these pills this amount of time. I'm not antidepressant. It doesn't work. I said, I don't know what to say to you besides this. And she said he lost his girlfriend. That's why I became clinically depressed. I said, listen, go to the gym, get a six-pack first. Once you've got a six-pack, email me again if you still feel like killing yourself. I don't know what else to say to you, but I'd say strong body is a strong mind. Go train. He went, he started sending me progress pictures, emailing me, him getting in better shape, and eventually got a six-pack. He's not a professional bodybuilder. And he said, I can't believe I was considering that. I feel so much better, etc. The doctor was telling him he was clinically depressed and couldn't cure it. He started taking control of his own life, and now he felt better. That if somebody has depression of any kind, whether it's clinical, whether it exists or not, whether they feel depressed or not, whatever, they taking control of their life, taking personal responsibility, and working hard is always going to be the positive, best thing they can possibly do for their life going forward. People going around them, of course, money can't buy happiness, I agree. But money is the third most important thing in the world. First is your health, because you have nothing if you're going to die. Second is your relationships, because you need love and family that matters the most. But money can buy everything else, so money is the third most important thing. The average people come to me and say, what do I do? I'm just the average guy. And my only answer is stop being the average guy. It's my only answer. You can't just be the average guy anymore. The idea from the 1950s that you can just be the normal, average, law-abiding, hardworking citizen and you'll have a good life is gone. Any man out here who goes, I'm just gonna work hard, do my bit, and obey the laws, and I'll have a good life. No, you won't. No, you will not. Just doing your job is never gonna make you rich because you're just gonna be taxed into infinity and you're gonna stay broke. So just obeying laws and doing your job now has set you up to be a peon, a slave for eternity. You have to get yourself in a position where you're making enough money. You don't know what to talk about. Then you don't understand money. So go learn how money works. Go learn how bank works. Go sit on YouTube for free. You don't need to pay 50 grand in 4 years like a university go. Sit on YouTube and understand money, banking, or the real estate market, any of it. Understand the last housing price crash, why it happened. Understand mortgage rates and how that's affected by interest rates. Understand it, and then go sit with someone else who understands it and talk about it. People should, even if they haven't got a penny in the world, should be going to these meetings about real estate, about investing. That, especially if it's cheap, they should go just meet other people who at least have money. Have conversations about money. Talk about it. How are you going to get what you don't talk about? And yes, the cycle of precipitation, right? So a cloud comes, it rains, it falls down to the ground, it goes under the ground, whatever, goes into a stream, it moves into the stream, goes to the ocean, evaporates again, up into a cloud, floats somewhere else, falls down again. It's always moving. That's how money is. People think that money is in these large stagnant pools hidden in people's bank accounts. That's not really true. Money is constantly moving all the time. And if you can find a way to get in between it and stand in the right place at the right time, you're gonna get wet. I think that's the new modern way to view the world. It's an attention economy. Doesn't matter what you do. If you're getting attention, you'll make money from it. And when you sit there and analyze, and you start to learn little lessons about business, you'll learn about the importance of the signage. You'll learn about the importance of there being no queue. Yeah, so that if you ever run a business, I say with my business, my people, all the time. Faster, all the time, quicker. Yeah, like I have a couple businesses that are physical. I'm like, I don't want to see a line. I don't want to see empty because it looks bad. So when there's lines, you work fast. We're down to 1 or 2 people. You take your time, you talk to the customer, keep it so there's like always one person at the like, manage the line. Like people don't think about this stuff. One habit that people need to adopt, and this is a habit I had for a very long time. I've actually recently cleared it from my brain because I've reached a point where peace of mind is worth more than money. But every single time money is spent, you need to identify how your money was taken from you. And I say taken because money can't be made. Money is taken because the only people who can make money are the government. So if you're a government, you can make money, you can print it from the air or a bank. But if you're a person, you're not making money, you're convincing other people to give it to you. You're taking money from others. So every single time you spend money on anything, you need to identify how it was taken from you. When you go and buy a coffee, don't just go buy the coffee and sit down. Sit and say, why did I buy this coffee? Okay, I really wanted coffee, yeah, but then why did I go into this store and not that store? Is it bare advertising? Does they have less of a line? Do they have seating? How did they convince me to come in here? How much did this coffee cost? 6 quid? What's the profit margin on that? Probably 550, 580 probably. By the time the cup probably costs more than the coffee. The coffee is just water. How did they convince me to spend £6 in this place? No one's gonna sit and wait and along you. Maybe some idiots will, but people like me won't. We got to do, right? My time's worth money. I'm not gonna stand, wait in the line. So you have to identify how your money is taken from you. If you start doing that with every single time you spend anything, ever, you're gonna start to identify business opportunities and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna have coffee and you're gonna go, you know what? They could have sold cake and they didn't. Could I outcompete this place? Let's imagine I had the money to start a coffee shop right next door. How would I outcompete them? Well, I'd have cake because I don't have cake. Also, most people in here are businessmen. And this, the guy serving, some dude, no, we need a cute waitress. His ass is fired. We need a chick. Put a chick here, put some cake in, Financial Times, business people in. People don't even think about this stuff. They don't use their brain, ever. They don't ever look around and realize how they're spending their money. They don't look around and look at which businesses are successful. They don't look around and pay attention to anything. They don't look at the world and all the things that are happening and how it can benefit them. None of it. They don't look at any of it. They're too busy following the circus. It's why it's clown world. I was walking to school, to college, with a couple of my friends, and a Ferrari drove past. And I said, bro, you see that? And he goes, yeah, what about it? I said, doesn't that piss you off? I must have been about 16. He goes, why? This dude has 400 G's for a car, 400 grand. I'm walking 4 miles to college because my mom hasn't got any car. He has 400 grand. Do you think he works a job? Do you think he's behind a counter somewhere? He knows something about the world that I don't know. And they were like, well, he's rich. I'm like, yeah, I know. I didn't say he wasn't rich, dummy. I'm saying he knows something about the world I don't know. And I was intrigued and it angered me. I couldn't sleep for weeks. I was pissed off. Every time I saw somebody with genuine money, I understood that everything I was being told and taught and they were trying to make me believe just simply wasn't true. I was like, this isn't on of these people are getting these things by following the path that the system is trying to make me follow. And everybody intrinsically knows this. If you go to AF, you're at a BP, you're at a petrol station, and I pull up in my Lamborghini, nobody goes, wow, he went to school, he studied hard. And they do that because they know that the easiest way to amass wealth is to break the rules. Because the rules are not designed to allow most people to make money. Sure, you can play by the rules and make money, but most don't. Most suckers follow the same tired path. Work, spend, die. That's it. I saw through that lie early. Trading your life for a paycheck? Garbage. I knew there was a better way making money work for you, unlinking your time from your bank account. That's freedom. Build a system, an empire, like I did. I've got 60, 70 people grinding for me worldwide, and money flows in like water as long as the machine's tight. That's not luck, that's strategy. If I lost it all tomorrow, I'd jump into sales. Always been a closer. Sales teaches you to handle pressure, thrive in a commission-only world, and win. Universities, they don't teach that. They churn out slaves, not kings. They push you to school, college, rack up debt so you're forced to work a soul-crushing job. Then they hook you with a mortgage, More debt, chaining you to the system. Can't quit, can't leave, can't think. That's the plan control. The Matrix is designed to keep you obedient, scared to say no, scared to have an opinion, unless you're sitting on millions. The average guy's too weak to break free. It's brutal out there, especially for men. Clout, status, power, that's what matters. You want to be somebody? Get up and grind like your life depends on it, because it does. Young men need to aim high, work harder than anyone, stay clean, stack millions, protect and provide for their women, be so sovereign that no one can cancel you. Walk onto national television, trap set, and still own the room. That's the goal. Strong, confident men who stand tall, shield their people, and fear no one. They're the force the world needs. I'm not casting spells, I'm dropping truth. Thousands of men get it. They see my value. If guys grow up like me, you'll have a legion of disciplined warriors, no criminal records, jacked, dedicated, providing for their circle. That's not a problem. That's a revolution. The system hates it because it can't control men who think for themselves. They want you docile, in debt, and quiet. I say screw that. Build wealth, build power, build a life where you can look the world in the eye and say, I'm untouchable. The Matrix thrives on keeping you small. Every rule, every truth they feed you, it's got an agenda. Question it all. Why do you believe what you believe? Because some suit on television said so? Wake up. Most people are puppets, programmed to obey. Not us. We see the game and we play to win. You don't need their permission to be great. You need hustle, guts, and a plan. Crack the system, make your money work, and live free. Anything less, and you're just another cog in their machine. You want a life that matters? Ditch the slave mind. Work, suffer, build. The world doesn't care about your feelings. Sit, respects, results. Stack cash, protect your people, and stand tall, no matter who's trying to tear you down. That's what makes a man. Choose to stay small, and you'll die a nobody. Choose to fight, to rise, to break the chains, and you'll live as a king. The clock's ticking, get up, outwork everyone, and claim your empire, or let the Matrix own you forever.